Hey everyone! So today I'm going to be doing a pick a card reading on what would they tell you right now if they could say something to you, kind of like yeah. Yeah, what would they say to you if they could say something to you? This is especially for people who like are out of contact with their person and like I'm thinking it's going to be more romantically based than otherwise. So, um, but let's see what the cards have in store. I'm gonna just go right in and show you what decks there are. Um, so this will be deck 1, 2, and 3. And you could go back and reflect on those decks if you're, I mean, I didn't spend too much time on them, so it'd be good to go back and meditate if you haven't already paused the video for that moment. Um, so I'm just going to go ahead and start with deck 1. Okay, so the first card we have is the Sleep. Then we have the Three of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Knave of Wands, or the Page. Then we have the Ten of Cups, the Page of Swords, and the Two of Cups. So this is like a very romantic deck, I'm feeling. The first thing I'm seeing with this Page of Swords is that they would tell you that even though they, like, you all may be more of this Two of Cups energy, they feel very Ten of Cups about you. This is like the more intimate of the cards. And so they feel like you're just kind of like everything to them, kind of like this Nine of Pentacles energy. They would just tell you that they think the world of you and that they have all of these like really deep feelings for you that are not shallow at all, and that they want to get in touch with you, especially having like two pages out here. I think that they really definitely want to like have any sort of contact at all. I'm not sure if you all cut them off, but they are definitely feeling that way. Um, they would tell you, I think, that they're, of course, like dreaming about you a lot, and that all of these dreams keep pointing them in your direction, and that they just like can't get you out of their head. Um, Whatever's gone on that's put you all out of contact, it doesn't seem to have given them any sort of negative opinions on you. So maybe they were the ones who kind of cut things off with you all. And so because of that, there's just like, there's nothing bitter that they want to say. It's just, I love you, basically. I have feelings for you. I have a crush on you. I love you. And I really see you as just sort of like this ultimate person. And I want to create something with you, with this Three of Pentacles energy. Like, it's kind of an investment, and like it comes after, like two comes after three. And so like two is sort of indecisive, but three is like, I'm invested in this and like I want to just like move forward with it. So I think they would want to tell you that like they do see the value in you and your relationship. I'm getting earth and water energy most strongly here. I'm going to grab a few more cards because it's pretty straightforward of a message, but let's see if they have anything else to say. Do you have anything else for deck 1? What else would deck 1's person say to them? That's too many. Ten of Wands. They would tell you that they want to like put in the work, that they don't mind like how much effort this could take to be together. If this was something that was kind of difficult to manage in the past, and it could be from distance. This Page of Swords kind of has this traveling energy, like going between places. And I mean, especially with COVID and a lot of places being shut down, though this is like a timeless reading, but if you're watching this presently, I mean, it's kind of like even living in the same city, it's like a big travel for a lot of people. So there could be that element of like, now I'm able to put in more effort into this situation, and they want to tell you that. And then tens also speak of like completion of cycles, so like moving on to the next phase. We have the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Wands here, so it's like a leveling up. This Page of Swords also particularly in this deck talks about kind of like not playing it safe anymore, and kind of just like trusting in that things might just work out, like not putting too much thought into it. Maybe they were overly hesitant and they're like, I know that I was thinking too hard about everything, but I'm kind of willing to take a chance on you. Yeah, we have the Ten of Cups showing up again. So yeah, there's a lot of love here. They really want to tell you that like they just might even see their life with you. Let's see, one more card from this deck. The Magician. They want to create something with you. They want to tell you that this time they have a lot more faith that whatever they put in is what they're going to get out of the situation. If they weren't putting a lot of effort in before, they could see themselves, like they can see the value of like that the effort would most likely result in this Ten of Cups situation. If they were being kind of Two of Cups about it, or like even Ace of Cups about it, they have a lot more energy towards putting in the effort. And also I'm getting that they miss sleeping next to you. If you all were like cohabitating or anything like that, it's hard for them to sleep now that you're gone, or they're losing sleep over you, and just that they miss you. There's a lot of like big emotional energy here. I'm going to grab just 2 more cards from this deck, and then I'm going to read your channeled messages. We have the Universe and the King of Swords. So it's kind of like they want to express everything to you, that you're everything to them, and that they see you as their whole world. They want to tell you like everything up front, whatever has been going on while you all have been separated. They want to explain everything, and they won't leave short any details. They would even like come forward with any like apologies that they may have for the way that they've been handling the situation. Like I kind of get the sense of a lot of immature energy, especially with these pages here, that maybe they had meant to come into this situation with a lot more to offer, but ultimately they just thought that the effort might not result in what they were hoping, and that like um, it would just like continually be like a difficult thing. But they're kind of realizing that like relationships do take a lot of like work, and that there was a lot of promise, um, and that believing in that wasn't necessarily a bad thing. I have this feeling that they kind of shrunk away like anxiously. um, so let's see for the universe. This card represents the beginning of a voyage or travel in general, or a move to another area. You stand at the threshold of major changes in your life. I'll hold up the card. Um, and are beginning to question life's meanings. You are open to new experiences and are prepared to consecrate your time to different ways of thinking. To do this, accept the limitations of your present circumstances and the imperfections of those around you. Consider getting rid of extraneous objects and people. Question the motives of those around you, especially anyone whom you may encounter in new endeavors. And so they may have also been kind of like non-discriminating. I'm getting that sort of energy, like where they thought they were being like a little careful um, about the relationship that they had with you, to the point where they kind of were doubting you, but you were the wrong person to be doubting. And also that there could have been people coming from the outside who had a lot of opinions about your connection and about like what you all were doing together, and they let that kind of influence how they handled things. So there's like also kind of a realizing that they should trust their own intuition, um, and stop like doubting themselves, because that was kind of where it came from. They were trusting everything at first, and then they were like, well, what if my intuition's wrong and everyone around me is right, like, you know. So um, and then also it may be that one of you is going to move towards the other, um, like either in a way where it's like you're balancing everything out, and um, like if one of you has been more of the pursuer, the rules are going to change, I'm seeing. um, but also it could just be an actual literal move closer to each other. So yeah, they want to express that like they were wrong if there was that situation where they were like listening to outside people and not really trusting you or the situation that they'd like trusted in before. They want to explain um, where they were coming from, and why things ended up the way that they ended up, and how they kind of want to move forward from here. So um, that's what I have for you all. Oh wait, yeah, your channeled messages. So um, now, what is this feeling? I've known you from long ago, from deep in the past. I don't know why, but I trust you completely. So, um, yes, basically that. With all of this Ten of Cups energy, I also feel like it was like they didn't expect for things to progress so quickly. They were expecting a Two of Cups, but they just felt like they were straight up married to you, and I think that's part of why it was freaky. Um, and they were like, I don't know why, but I trust you completely. And they started to doubt themselves, because it's like they couldn't just go off of these like past life feelings. So this is probably like a soulmate connection, you know. And so just sort of like experiencing that, especially for the first time, it's kind of, it can be like a little scary for people who aren't that in touch with this sort of thing, because um, feeling like you've known someone before, or like dealing with old energy, it's hard to confront whenever you don't really have these resources, I guess, basically. Um, Maybe I'll stumble on something special that I wouldn't have if I hadn't taken the chance. Yeah, so this time they're more prepared to be taking the chance, and realizing that this could be just like they could have completely passed something amazing up, and they're looking kind of at you as the one that got away, like this Nine of Pentacles, like straight up, it's like you are like this beacon of light and beauty, and they think like now they are seeing your value, and the value of putting effort in, and maybe they once saw it and then like lost it, and they're like refinding it and refinding their trust in their own judgment. So that's what I have for you all, deck one. That's really beautiful, and I hope that they maybe say something to you soon, because it sounds like if they did, it would just be really good for both of you. Moving on to deck two. Hi, deck two. So just gonna jump right in. We actually had two cards for you from this deck, the Wave and the Nothing. Then the Four of Wands, the Six of Cups, and the King of Wands. So you could be dealing with a fire sign, or someone with fire in their chart, or just a very bold energy, or water with like the Wave and the Six of Cups, maybe both. Then I have Fortune, Suspension, and the Emperor. So yeah, with the Emperor and the King of Wands, those are kind of my most assertive, masculine cards, I think. And so I'm kind of getting that energy that this person could have that sort of like forceful, commanding presence of those cards. It's interesting with the Nothing and the Wave. It kind of feels like a sort of like a wave has like a push and a pull. They feel like pulled in by you, drawn to you. With the Six of Cups, this is like, you know, that nostalgic childhood energy. And it's interesting because the Four of Wands and the Six of Cups, traditionally, I think, for me, in a lot of readings with other decks, there's typically two people in the Four of Wands, and it's like a marriage. And then the Six of Cups also usually has two people, and a lot of people interpret that as like a past life connection. But it's interesting seeing them alone, and I think that that's kind of also like an energy that I'm getting from your person. So like I think that they're kind of feeling like left alone, almost like left at the altar. Like if I'm just kind of like going off of how there usually would be two people in a marriage celebration and there's just one, it's like they feel like they're left alone with their nostalgia, left alone thinking about like what could have been. And they're kind of in suspension. I think this is traditionally like the Hanged Man. And so they're just sort of waiting for you to come back. So I think that they would want to say just that they miss you, and kind of like, where are you? Why are you just kind of in and out like this? How can you just come in and kind of like ignite this like passion within me, and then just leave? Like with the Wheel of Fortune, it's kind of like there are these cycles, and I kind of see it like the seasons and just coming and going and coming and going. So they could be asking you why you have that energy, or they could be saying like, you know, I'm sorry that I do that a lot, and I'm just sort of in and out of your life, and I'm realizing the way that that could be affecting you. Yeah, this reading almost has a both ways type of thing, where maybe you both do that to each other. I'm going to pull more cards just to see what else I can get. Can I have 3 cards? What would they say if they could? And I'm also hearing like that if they could say something, they wouldn't say anything. Um, and that could like, which is like kind of rude, but I just heard that. It seems like one card, but not in a way where it's not like they're not missing you or thinking about you, but just like that maybe they just don't know what they would say, or they don't really have anything to say. Things with you could just like be somewhat casual where they aren't like fully it's almost like lukewarm, like yeah, this Two of Cups energy, it's pretty early. So it's like I have a crush on you, I have feelings for you, and like things aren't really progressing with us exactly. Like it seems like things are in phases, but I have a lot of feelings for you. Like I have these 6 cups, and it just is like so much nostalgia. I think about like how familiar you are to me, and how every time we're together, it just feels like the most natural thing, like as though I've already known you. And I would like even go so far as to say that I kind of like I'm serious about you, and like maybe we could meet on the altar in the future. Maybe. And then okay, let's get to okay, that's pretty good. Judgment, and then 2 cards came together, so we have Death and the Page of Swords. And this is the Judgment card. So, yeah, and it could be that you really did, like, cut them off. I think with suspension, I'm really getting that energy of, like, you might have been the one to leave them hanging, you know? And so that's also why they might not say anything to you. It's just, like, maybe they have so much feelings for you, and, like, the way that you treat them makes it seem like you are, like kind of lukewarm about it. Like, you just don't put in as much as they would want. Even if you think you're putting in a lot, like maybe you're an air sign and they're like a water sign, and so you're just kind of like, oh yeah, I like you, and they're like, okay, but it's been like 3 years or something like that, you know. Yeah, so they would tell you like, I really have feelings for you, and I just want to see like where this would actually go if we put in the time together, and can we revisit this, like, so maybe things went wrong in the past where if you guys did try to come together, it just like for whatever reason like things fell off, and it could have been that you started something at the start of like this pandemic or something, and then like everyone just went into quarantine, or you know, like Juno and Venus went retrograde right at the start of all of this too, and so it was just like you all had other stuff to take care of. A lot of people have been revisiting just like past karma and things, so maybe they had some karma to clear. Yeah, and they would tell you that like either things need to progress forward and on to the next phase, or they want to cut things off, and that's kind of like the most pressing thing that they want to say, I think, with this Knave of Swords. So let's see, just 2 more cards please from this deck. So 9 of Wands and the Knight of Wands. Yeah, I'm really getting a lot of like intense, fiery energy. So they just like, they would want to say nothing to you, I think, but something would come spilling out is kind of the type of energy that I feel. With the Knight of Wands, they really just want to like rush in and like kind of just like, I get like sexual energy from this. Like, look, you see like this thing, like that's their clothes or something, it's falling off. Like they're just like, it's kind of So that's one thing I'm getting from here. They're just like, well, if anything, like, I just really want to be physically close to you. But I'm also just getting that they really, they want to set this whole thing on fire. They're like, and it's either like the fire that will consume or the fire that will just um, like passionately. So it's like they just want something to happen. I think they just feel very stuck. I'm feeling like a lot of like, okay, so like we do this and we don't do this. With the Nine of Wands, yeah, it says intensity at the top. All of these cards have like related words, but there's just kind of like I'm gonna read actually from here what the Nine of Wands speaks to. Approach the unknown with skepticism and determination. Carefully double check interpretations and assumptions. You are seeking the right path at this time in your life, but are confused and misled by linear thinking. Let go and allow your instincts to pick your actions, for they will reflect your destiny. Yeah, they want to tell you that they kind of just want to go about this without thinking. And they're like, it seems like you're thinking too hard about everything. Can't we just do this? Um, and if you're going to be coming back, if you're coming back into the situation, I think of judgment as kind of revisiting a situation. Um, if we're just like doing that, then this can't be with this much thought. We've got to kind of like go on to the next phase and just see what happens. Like, let's find out what happens after death. Like, like let's learn what happens whenever we like progress to the next phase. We can't just like constantly be in suspension. So, okay. Um, yeah, they just feel like, so these channeled messages, let's see. When we're out in the open and I ask you to hold me, I can feel your love only in the heat of the moment. But in the cold of the morning, when I'm begging you to show me, you just up and leave me lonely in the cold of the morning. So, yeah, I feel like there's, as I was saying, just that kind of like um, love me and leave me type of energy. So you might just be like indecisive about this person. And like, I would honestly say, like, if you are this indecisive about this person for some reason, and if it's like because of the way that they behave, maybe they're immature actually, and they just like need to grow up a lot or address, like, confront different things about themselves, like, just keep your distance. And like, I mean, don't keep them hanging like this, but maybe just like express to them why you are being this distant and what you need from them. And if they can't offer it, then just like, like glow up, move on. Because it's like this suspension, it's just like, it's not good for them. I think that they're just like a little bit obsessed, and then it's also like not good for you, because your growth is also depending on this. You don't want to create karma with someone in like the next life. Like, it's just, you've got hands like an ocean, push me out, pull me back in. Yeah, so it's like, as I was saying, with the wave and the nothing, it's like you come in and then suddenly you're gone, nothing. Like, it's like the seasons, everything. It's just like, so are you like coming back, or are you never coming back again? That's something I'm hearing. And like they just feel kind of like powerless to everything. And they want to have like this King of Wands Emperor energy and just like put a stop to this, like stop the wheel from spinning and like break out of their suspension. But like they feel kind of mesmerized by you, and just kind of like they don't have power. They don't have the power that they usually have in these situations. So yeah, it's very intense, what they're feeling. And so that's what I have for you all. They do miss you, obviously, and they really want to see what happens with you, but they're also kind of getting fed up with this cycle. They want to tell you all of that, like that they're just like please give me some closure. That's something else I'm getting. So hope this resonated, and I wish you all luck with this situation because it sounds kind of sticky, honestly. Anyway, I'm going to move on to deck 3. Hi, deck 3. So, just going to go right in. We've got the Mirror, first card. Then we've got the Sun, the Three of Wands, the Seven of Swords, the Chariot, the Magian, and the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so I'm getting some twin energy here with like the Sun and the Mirror. So you all may be on that type of journey if you ascribe to that. If not, you may just be in very similar places. I mean, like, regardless, you're in a very similar place to them. And I think that they recognize that. So they would tell you, I think, firstly, that they just, like, really understand you. And they really empathize with you. And it also looks like there's something sneaky going on with the Seven of Swords, and they may want to confess to it. They might want to tell you, like, well, with these, like, 2 swords being left in the background, it's kind of like that maybe they've left behind, like, some indecision and, like, about this situation particularly, that they weren't really revealing to you, like, what the actual deal was. A little confusing, but interesting. So I feel like they feel very unstable in the situation with the Five of Pentacles. Like, this card especially, like, there's their foot, it's gone. They don't have anywhere to stand. They're just on one leg, and it doesn't look too good for them. Like, all their money is flying away. Their security is, like, out the window. They feel really insecure right now, and they want to tell you that, like, they've been going through some things that have really been compromising their, like, security in themselves, in you, in the situation, and they kind of want to talk to you about those things finally. And I think they want to ask, like, what you've been going through, if it's been anything similar with the Mirror. I think that they kind of have the suspicion that, like, a lot of your issues, if you had any issues, could be stemming from a very similar thing. And yeah, they want to kind of just shed some light on the things that have gone on in the shadows. So whatever you both have been keeping from each other, I'm sensing a little bit of secrecy in your connection. I'm going to get a few more cards. Maybe just 3. Okay. So, this is kind of similar to the other pile. We have the Six of Cups and the Four of Wands, and then the Hanged Man. So, oh, that's really similar. I wonder if you all are related. there's this energy of being left hanging that was really, really present in deck two. Um, like the Four of Wands and the Six of Cups, it's like typically there are two people in both of these cards, and this is usually a card of like marriage type of celebration, and then this card, it's like childhood nostalgia, like two people are playing, and a lot of people kind of relate that to a past life connection, like remembering someone from your past. Um, and so it's kind of like they feel as though they've been like abandoned, and also like they have all of these memories regarding you, but they're just left alone with them. It's like you are not remembering anything, or they can't sense that you also have these feelings with them. Um, and they feel um, kind of like you went away on your own um, journey or something, and in your own direction, and they're wondering where you are. And so they kind of want to say, like, I miss you, and why did you leave me? Um, I know that we had problems in the past, um, and I know that I wasn't being very forthright in a lot of ways, but I was coming from a very insecure place, and I didn't really know how to express um, what was going on with me, but now I think that I'm ready. Um, I feel like I've been left hanging, and I'm sorry that I left you hanging. This must be what you felt like while we were together. And, but it was just because there was a lot going on related to um, just like things that I was going through, a lot of internal conflicts. Like this guy's carrying 5 swords and he's on his own. So I think of those as like his own conflicts. And with like, these are 5 coins. It's just like, I was just kind of like having my own dark moments. But like, I hope that you understand me. Like, I know we're very similar. And so I feel as though you've gone through moments like these and you must know what I mean. I'm going to get 2 more cards from this deck. And then I'm going to read from the guidebook. Okay. The 7 of Wands and the Archpriestess. So, yeah. Oh, this is interesting. This guy's like trying to fight the wave by setting fire to it. It's kind of funny. Fortitude. I guess that's showing a level of fortitude. There's like perseverance there, and then dissolution for the Archpriestess. Um, unless it is Archpriestess. I don't know. Haven't decided. I'm just going to use my own pronunciation for that. But let's see the guidebook for the Chariot, the Magian, and yeah. So for the Magian, having fulfilled an absolute balance between the 2 hemispheres of the brain, you create a point of power which produces incredible vibrations that influence those around you. You will possess superior qualities of perception. With this capacity, it is possible to resort to trickery and manipulation, but this is dangerous and should be avoided at all cost. So I feel like they had felt manipulated in the past or something. Maybe by you, but I think that was like their own misperception of the situation as well. That's just something that I'm hearing, but also I think that this is something that they want to say that they've like finally balanced out like their anxiety and their rationality, like their logic is coming back into play. And so they're kind of out of this like darker period and feel more capable of having like a really upfront conversation with you. Um, yeah, it does look like they left you hanging, but they felt a level of like it had to be this way, and like they just wanted to work through things. Um, so the Chariot, through self analysis, you have learned to appreciate the voice within. You understand the needs and desires of your ego and are capable of silencing its voice and demanding that it regard you with deference, for you are far greater than it can ever be. You are aware of the gulf of ultimate sadness in life through the knowledge of ephemeral and transient situations. So, um, I'm having allergies. Yeah, so it's once again like just sort of coming to an understanding of like themselves, um, and yeah, a lot of self confrontation, um, and just like ego taming. I think there was a lot of ego involved in this situation, especially with the sun being here as well. Um, like which is typically a very happy card, but in a negative light, I think it's very like egocentric, and so I think that there was that sort of ego expression between the both of you, and you both could have been bringing it out in each other. With the mirror, you were reflecting back whatever energy they gave you, and so you both were having this Seven of Swords, Five of Pentacles energy. Like, even if it was maybe started by one person, you both were perpetuating it and bouncing it back to each other. You were really mirroring each other and being just twins. And that's just what happens, especially in twin journeys, if that's what you believe in. But it also just happens in relationships generally. You know, like if your friend's treating you coldly, you start to think, oh, like, is it because they don't like me or we have issues? And if you aren't careful, you might just leave it unconfronted and start pulling back. And you need to learn to not believe those thoughts, and because they're baseless. Unless you actually get that answer from someone, then like there's no point in that because it'll only cause you to do fearful things. So I'm getting a lot of fear-based um, energy from this. So then with the Arc Priestess, and I'm gonna wrap up in a second. Sorry, this is. I really try to be a little more concise, but I just get really into this. So, um, this is an opportunity to start afresh, and it will be accompanied by the incarnation of new ideas which arise from your unconscious. You can observe without regret the dispersion of old loves and hates and ancient methods of motivation. Use your latent power to find out what lies behind the veil of existence by delving into your memories. Um, so, I think so. They're cutting through what they were kind of creating in their mind and what was actually happening by like actually observing their memories. Where before they were like looking at everything with clouded vision, and just because that's what it's like to be in a situation. Um, a lot of times if you aren't practicing like awareness, self-awareness, and like kind of like meditation, like being in the present moment, then you can kind of have all of these illusions coming about. And so this is like the fog is clearing and they're able to look back on the situation with clear eyes. And so they want to tell you that they see you like more clearly now, and they kind of understand you and where you're coming from. And they may have felt at some point as though like they couldn't relate to you, and they thought that you were someone else. They thought that you were like them, but like they were like, oh, but you're just kind of like really different. But now they're kind of understanding, once again, like where you converge and diverge, and like what that means for you as a pair. This is all like coming through quickly. So yeah, um, and that they just want to start over. Now that they've gone through all of this, they actually think that this is going to be a better try than the first time because, or I don't know how many times you all have gone through this, but better than last time because they feel as though they've learned several lessons. I'm getting that they could be a Cancer, or you could be a Cancer with the Chariot card here. But otherwise, I'm getting, let's see, Gemini energy with the mirror, and this sun, I kind of see it as more like Gemini based because it has twins. Um, or they could have these placements in their chart, just if we're looking for something like that. Um, but yeah, and then I guess I'll just finally, while I'm here, the Seven of Wands, like, it's all about like kind of um, perseverance and sometimes a level of like just having like your fists up and ready to fight, which is like an energy that I can see coming through. I mean, we have the Seven of Swords up here, so two sevens, um, which is like it is difficult to hold out for what you believe in, while the crabs of illusion, there are crabs. It's kind of hard to see, but they're those things in the sand. Um, while the crabs of illusion attempt to devour those truths, stand firm even while others desert you. They are weak, and you will be better off in the long run. Those who hold the wand of their self-respect high will triumph in the end. Yeah, so now they're just feeling a lot more self-respecting, which means that they can respect you. And I think there was a loss of like respect for themselves, which just like there was a loss of respect for the situation, a loss of trust for the situation. They didn't trust themselves, they didn't trust you. And so everything just kind of like fell into like this like I don't know what's real anymore. There's too much illusion around the situation because like I can't even see myself clearly. Like they looked in the mirror and it was just blank. Like she's holding a blank mirror. There's nothing there. And that was kind of how they felt, and they felt that whenever they looked at you that they couldn't really see anything either. And so things may be coming more clearly now that Venus stationed direct, Juno's out of retrograde, and then also Neptune just went retrograde. Uh, so, but also Mercury's retrograde, so be careful. But also, like, even if this is a timeless read, maybe there's just something going on that's like provided them clarity, some sort of epiphany. Um, yeah. And so they just want to tell you that um, they have a lot more trust, and that like maybe they kind of messed things up in the past, but or like felt like things were very messed up in the past. There was just like too much in the past, but now they're ready to stand strong, or they want to kind of confront everything. So I'm gonna give you your channeled messages. So, um, oh, and baby, I'm fist fighting with fire just to get close to you. Can we burn something, babe? And I run for miles just to get a taste. Must be love on the brain that's got me feeling this way. It beats me black and blue, but it fucks me so good and I can't get enough. Um, yeah, so that's funny. It's like fist fighting with fire. Um, which kind of like feels like this sort of energy of like fighting this big wave with a torch and hoping that the water will dissolve. It's funny that they came out together, like dissolution, like clearing that mist, clearing the water, um, and like also if if like they're a water sign, I'm also kind of seeing this as related, like fist fighting with fire. Like you might be the wave or something like that, or they might be the wave, and I don't know. Okay, but anyway, getting back to it, yeah, they just kind of they really would do anything to be close to you again and to give this like a try, and they want to tell you that that like even if it's very difficult and it's like kind of like hurts, like it's just like really good, and especially with you. I mean, this is also kind of like a sexual card, so once again going back, or I guess I didn't actually mention anything about that, but like I think there's that draw. um Yeah, so then we have, it's not like I'm counting the days, but it's been 25. So um, they've been counting the days since they last saw you, or since you all last talked, and they're really, really thinking about you. Um, and they kind of don't even know what to do to like get back in touch with you, or whether they should be the one to reach out or let you reach out. So they're just kind of hanging in there. They've got this hanged man position, um, but they wouldn't tell you that they've been waiting and hoping for this contact to happen again. They wouldn't tell you. They would just, but you would get it. You would kind of know. They would like maybe allude to it on accident. Yeah, but this person seems very proud. And I don't know if they have Leo energy. That's also an energy I picked up with the sun. Aside from Gemini, Leo, Cancer, those are the things that I mainly feel. But we also have Uranus out here, so they could be Aquarius, and that's on like the Leo axis. So, yeah, that's what I have for you all, and I'll be doing more of these types of readings, so please stay tuned. And I hope that this resonated. I hope you all somehow get in contact. It seems like you and deck 2 are sort of in this state of suspension. The deck 2 is the cause of it, so maybe if deck 2 is your partner, um, yeah, or something. Yeah. So, see you all around. Thank you again, and have a great day, night, whatever.